things to share with you. So let's go ahead and just make sure we are set up and ready to roll here. Good morning. Hello. Good afternoon. How are you? It's good to be here with you. All right, we're set. So you can watch this being streamed on YouTube. We're going to share our screen here. All right, let's go ahead and get that done. And what we want to do is just do that. All right. So let's get this all set up for you. And we'll get rolling here. We're going to need some volunteers today. So if you'd like to volunteer for a detox process, go ahead and volunteer for your detox process. And we're going to get started. So if you'd like to volunteer, you can say hello to each other. We're just going to need one more moment to get set up successfully here. So just if you'd like to volunteer, then put your date of birth, and we're going to get rolling in just a second here. Okay, so we have lots of exciting events coming up really in the Genius community. In 2 weeks, we are going to go back to detox in a way. We're going to talk about alkalizing the body. So let's go ahead and get set up here. So in 2 weeks on January 24th, so let's see, it's the 17th and then another 7th, 24th, we're going to have Silky Polifka join us, a very, one of the skio practitioners who's been, I was going to say revered skio practitioner. She's from Germany and she's been practicing for years. And she's going to tell us all about alkalizing the body and the power of alkalizing the body for your terrain and how it can help to protect you from certain things. And we're going to talk all about infections and your immune system and alkalinity. So make sure that you do join us on the 24th of January, same time, same station. It's going to be part of the Monday class. So we're going to be doing that. Okay, we're going to get started in just a minute on our detox process. So be sure that you put your date of birth if you'd like to volunteer for that. And we have a lot to share this week. Of course, for the Library Discount Club, we're going to be talking about the I Ching in our bonus class. So make sure you're registered for that. And then in the business class, we're going to be talking about case solving. So if you're part of the business membership, we're going to be taking your hardest cases and solving them. Today, we're going to be talking about detox process. And I also want to update you on the hormonal study. And you can still join that class. We're launching it on Thursday, and I'll tell you how you can join it, whether you want to have an actual lab done or you just want to observe and learn about your hormones. But the result of that, since people have gotten their salivary hormone labs, is extremely exciting because it turns out there is a close correlation between the hormone results on the lab and what we're seeing on the Genius. Now, we never make any claims. We would never say it's the same, but wow, we can observe a correlation and just look at how correlated they are, which is very, very exciting. You can also send your questions. So if you have any questions that you would like to ask today, you can send your questions along in the chat. Let's see if we can just line this up a little bit. And we're going to get started on our cases and so forth in just a moment. So do send your questions, anything about that you want to ask today of any topic you can ask, of course, hopefully something related to the Genius. And we're going to go ahead and see if we can find some information here. Let's see how we can add this in. Trying to add in the detox process to our class today. So we'll see if we can get that in there. Thank you so much for being part of our class. and being part of what we do. We really, really appreciate it. Let's bring this over here. So we're going to talk about detox. Now, your genius is very, very well suited to help you with a detox. And we're going to talk about a process for that. If we can get this added in, let's go ahead and include everyone here. All right. So, all right, that's funny. I don't know where we sent that. Okay, give me one more minute to get started here. So what you would want to do with your genius is utilize all of the systems on the genius that can help you with detox. So let's talk a little bit about what they are. In traditional naturopathic medicine, we've referred to these as the emunctories of the body. So the emunctories are the eliminative aspect of your body. And those include things like the kidney, the liver, the skin. And what we want to do, large intestine, we want to open up or sort of activate those parts of the body in order to have a healthy detox. So that's where we're going. That's what we want to show on the genius. And let's see if we can get this updated. And we'll also answer your questions. There are also some detox libraries like Detox All the Systems, the 10-week detox, and you can utilize that as well. There's a detoxification rife frequencies library. There's one that you can use for juice fasting. And we also have a 21-day detox program that you can utilize. So that's one that you can get 21 days of instruction of how to do a detox and what to do during your detox with that particular program, which is also available at geniusbiofeedback.com. We're soon going to have the results of our holiday challenge for the affiliate program, and we'll have a new challenge for the sort of winter time to just give you some incentive and some encouragement to refer people, which we really do appreciate. Okay, we have this document. Let's see if we can share this with folks. So let's go to the chat once again, and let's see if we can be successful in sharing it. There we go. Okay. Yes. So if you go to the chat area, you can download the detox process. You could share that with other people. We'll put it in a couple of times during the stream. And then welcome to everybody watching on YouTube. We'll add it to the YouTube description coming up soon after the class. So you can check out that detox process as well. And we can bring it up for people to see as well. So there is a detox process, and you can take a look at it. You can make some notes if you want to about what we're talking about for the detox process. And we do want to answer your questions. I'm finally able to join the class, correctly. Thank you, Ada. I'm glad you're here. Volunteering for the detox process. That's glad. Okay, then take me off volunteering. I love all of your chat messages, and they're great. And let's see if we can get someone. Where is the doc? I don't see it here. We just added it in there, so maybe other people can link it for folks, or we're going to show it so you can see it. All right, so let's see if we have anyone who's not had a scan before. Go ahead and volunteer. What we need to volunteer is to go ahead and put your date of birth into this. Unable to open the PDF. Fun times. All right, let's get rolling here. So let's go ahead, and Peggy will work with you today. So Peggy, let's see if you can find your microphone. And if you want to also be on camera today, we can open up your camera so you can be live with us. So we can do that as well. So we're going to invite you into the, let's see, we'll promote you here so we can talk with you. And then you'll be one of the panelists there. And let's go ahead and open up the microphone so we can speak with you. Peggy, how are you today? And if we can't get your microphone open, we're going to have to move to another person. So see if you can join us there. If not, we're going to have to move on, because we do want somebody who could be on camera and can speak with us during the class. So if you're able to do that, then you're a great volunteer. Just make sure that we get your date of birth and down in the area below. And we're going to show the genius in just a moment. All right, so that's not working out very well. All right, so let's see if we have any other volunteers. All right, Loida, I think it's well time for you to be a part of a scan. I'm glad that you volunteered. So Loida, we're going to invite you up here and have you join us by camera and microphone. So let's go ahead and do that right now. And we're also going to bring up the genius in just a moment. So Loida is joining us, so be sure you get ready to have your camera and microphone on, Loida, and we'll go ahead and show the genius in just a moment. Going to get everything set up. So we're going to put in, of course, the chat is public. Anyone can chat and you can share your thoughts, questions in the chat. So that's a fun thing about working with Zoom that we can do. All right, so let's see if we've got Loida here.
Hi, good morning to everybody.
Hi, Loida, how are you?
Good, good, thank you.
And let's see if you're able to, are you able to open up your camera there and unmute that as well? Okay, good.
But it says you cannot start your video. The host has disabled it, so.
Oh, okay, that's really weird because I'm trying to give you, let's see. All right, let's just go with what we've got. And I don't know why it's not letting me do that because you're definitely a panelist. And allow them to start their video. See if you can do it now. There you go. Oh gosh, Louise,
Okay.
It's so nice to have you with us.
Can you see me? I don't know. I can't see my.
Yes, you're fine. You're fine. So Louita, tell us a little bit about when you got the genius and how you've been doing. I know you've been very, very busy doing scans for people.
Yes, I got the genius sometime in October, where I was attending a class for another subject. And since then, I think to me, I'm just blessed because it was, after that, my brother got sick, my sister really sick, and my parents now are sick with COVID. And they are all in different places. One is in Asia, two is in Europe. So, it's hard for me to help them physically. And so this, the genius really is helping me to making them, like, for example, my sister, she already said goodbye to me. She said that I'm dying. I couldn't do it anymore. And so I said,
she said she from COVID?
Yes. Because what happened the first time I scanned her, it says COVID coronavirus. And I was like, girl, you have COVID. Could you please do the things that I'm telling you?
Okay, but that's not a diagnosis though. That's just an energetic resonance. So we want to always that. We don't want to scare anybody. Louita, I want to hear more about this. Let's go ahead and record your voice so we can also be in process of working on your scan. So let me have you say your first name and then the AEIOU over and over again. I'll start recording you in 3, 2, 1. I'm recording.
Loida, AEIOU, 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 AEIOU.
Okay, that's perfect. Then we're going to scan. I guess let's make it, we can't talk about anything, too controversial here. So maybe just tell us about one success that you've had so far with the genius.
Okay. So my sister, of course it's not right away, but she was able to, hold just one second. She was able to, sorry about the noise around me, so I apologize. She was able to, recuperate, and she's still getting better. It started from 2 up to now it's 70%, which is I really do appreciate. And that, I know that I'm blessed with this help, because without this, I'm not sure how I could have helped them remotely.
That's a very common, that's something that's very common that people tell us, that they're so grateful for the Genius because of its remote capabilities. And I'm really impressed because you have even been going right in there and utilizing the capsule, right?
Yes, I've been trying my best. Of course, it's not perfect, but I think, I was able to share 3 already. And I'm working on the last one and telling them, how to use it, which is I'm still learning myself. But, hopefully one day when I'm not too busy scanning all my family, then I will have enough time to look into it.
Well, I'm glad we're getting to scan you because you've been so generous in helping other people, but it sounds like you got the Genius just right in time to help other people, to help people around you. So thank you for what you're doing. And it's a beautiful aura. There's such beautiful green light above your aura. And that is beautiful heart opening coming from the heart. And then there's also a little bit of purple down there. That represents a new awareness, something new that you're learning, something that you're aware of, maybe just a lesson in life that you're getting. And we're showing that on that right side of the screen there. And we're going to keep working on you. And what we would expect is that gray that sort of surrounds some of the aura right now is going to decrease, and that the whole aura will get brighter. But so far it looks good. I mean, it really looks like you have been doing some work on yourself on a regular basis.
Yes, I try. Thank you.
Yeah, you're doing great. I'm really, really impressed. I'm just super impressed at everything that you've been doing to help yourself, because I see your messages come through, and it's really nice to know that you've been working so hard to learn the Genius, and that there's just so many people that you've helped, and also many people that you're referring to try the Genius as well. So thank you for that.
Oh, thank you.
All right. Well, I am going to work on you. We're going to do some detox. Have you ever done a detox program before?
With the Genius, no, I haven't got a chance for myself.
Okay. So we're going to do that. We're going to point out you have lots of libraries. And so you have all the libraries that we're talking about with the Detox 10 week and the Detox Rife, and of course, all the systems on the regular part of the Genius. So you'll be able to do all of this, but I am going to work on you for right now. So afterwards, or even while I'm working on you, make sure you're drinking water, and we'll come back and talk to you in just a little bit. Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Let me go drink water.
Thank you so much, Luita. Just what a gem to have as part of our Genius Biofeedback community. At least twice a year, you want to schedule yourself to be sure that you can do some type of a detox program. It could be the start of spring. It could be the start of fall. Now is a bit of an odd time only because it is cooler out in North America. So it's not a natural type of detox. However, it's a good time because a lot of people want to feel a sense of renewal, usually during that time around the solstice, when we have the shortest days and the longest nights. We might overeat, or we might be eating sugar, things we usually don't eat during the holidays. And so just start January, it feels like a really nice time for detoxification. So an actual detox where you're juicing, or you're even consuming warm broths. There's macrobiotic cleanses where they only use warming food. So you could use some vegetable broth and just drink that throughout the day, maybe with a little bit of brown rice. And then alongside that, 2 to 3 times a day, do this detox process. In order to make the detox process easier, you could create a custom playlist, which we'll show. You could also export your own frequencies to your Quanta capsule. And when you export your frequencies to the Quanta capsule, it makes it easier for you to run those frequencies for yourself throughout the day, while during the day you may be working on other people. So make sure you find or activate or obtain your own Quanta capsule. In many of the packages, upgraded, elite, and higher, we give you 1 Quanta capsule credit to use however you wish, whether it be for yourself or someone else. Okay, so once again, we do have a handout for this, and we may not be getting that to everyone. Some people said they can't open the link. We will definitely get you a refreshed link. We're going to try to connect that again here. And it's a PDF, so you might have to change some of the download settings on your device, your phone, whatever it might be. But we definitely will follow up with our weekly newsletter, and we will put it in the YouTube description. So with that in mind, you can see many things on your regular part of your Genius, your system overview, that have to do with detox. So let's go for it. When you go to today's stress, we're going to combine some of the things coming up for her, as well as what we would do for detox. With the Genius, it's an energetic detox. We're working on the biofield, but we're hoping through frequency to open up those systems, the organs, we call the emunctory organs, the kidneys, the liver, the skin, right? And also skin brushing is great for that. Saunas are important, and large intestine. So we want foods that are cleansing, that are able to rest the digestive system and maximize elimination of toxins and metabolic waste from the systems. So a question from Mardell: when we're using the process, do we add the regular reds and blues? Yes, I'm going to demonstrate that right now. So if you only wanted to do a detox and you didn't want to include anything else, you could do that as well. And that's where the custom playlist comes in very, very handy. So we're going to talk about the custom playlist in a moment, where you could do a detox. Okay, and we do have some questions from Lorraine coming in. Lorraine, thank you so much, Lorraine A. She says, can you please touch on the auric fields? More specifically, I have someone with congestive heart failure. Latest auric scan shows 4 to 5 different colors. All right, we don't want to make so much correlation with our auras, but the best thing would be to send it to me so I can look at it. We may be even able to pull it up and look at it during the class. I'll do my best to make that happen. So if you want to send that along, then I'll try to sort of shift things along here so we can actually look at that. So let's go ahead and just move this over here, and our detoxification process over here. And we see that for Louita, the brain is coming up. So the brain, this could be just foggy thinking. The number one issue with the brain and with regard to aging is oxygenation of the brain. So we want to always keep our vessels as clean and clear as possible. If you want to take a moment in time where you don't have to commit to a lifetime, at least 30 days, 60 days, a month, a couple of months, think about a plant-based diet where you don't have any oil and you have a minimal amount of nuts and seeds. This will allow the maximal circulation and the minimal amount of injury to your vessels. Then you can also incorporate herbs, ginkgo biloba, vinpocetine, gotu kola. All of these help to increase circulation in the body. So we can increase circulation in any number of ways, also inverted postures, or even just doing a posture that rests your head lower than your heart. Yoga, where your head is going to be like downward facing dog, is a good one. Regulating sugar. So make sure that you're not having refined sugar, and also taking things like bitter melon or gymnema that help to better regulate sugar, because high circulating levels of sugar in the body, we know that Alzheimer's has been posited to be diabetes type 3. So it's really important not to have high circulating blood sugar or insulin resistance, because that impedes the flow of oxygen being delivered to the brain, because blood delivers oxygen and nutrients to the brain. So we would utilize the brain. When you're utilizing a frequency from the Genius, especially system overview, there are multiple frequencies that have been incorporated into that brain frequency. And they're dealing with emotions, they're dealing with the actual brain, they're dealing with the subconscious. So a lot can happen when you run the frequency. Even if you just run one frequency up in the quick zap, that is going to be very powerful. So if you never know what to do, just take one frequency and combine it with 528 hertz and put that up into the quick zap. Then we see bacteria. The body does harbor all types of pathogens all the time. This could be a bacteria in the gut, could be something circulating that was breathed in. It could be something that she's trying to fight. When it's in red, it tells us it's out of balance. And remember that a red or blue from the genius is merely a communication that the body needs to utilize those frequencies, that those frequencies will be beneficial for today. Where we take it beyond just that is completely up to you, how you interpret it, what your knowledge is of natural health. So let's go down here and we see lymphatic, that would be in line with detoxification, emotional, and heavy metal toxicity. We can also use the adrenals, as you can see up on the detoxification process. And we want to pull in the kidneys and the liver. Now, just because you see green or it appears to be balanced, it's just a prioritization for today. So let me explain that. So we're going to include kidney, liver. I also want to call to your attention that you could include inflammation for detox. If you wanted to work on inflammation in your system, that would help the body to be better able to detox. You could also work on the acid frequency, because a body is more capable of detoxing when it is at an alkalized pH. So that is something to think about. Now, when we have all of these from today's stress in the tray, we can move on. Let me talk about the prioritization. For Loida for today, based on her voice and picture, the brain bacteria, emotional, lymphatic, heavy metal toxicity, those are the most important for her for today. But it doesn't mean that the kidney and liver are perfect. The genius is merely saying what I think you should focus on for today that will be the most important are these frequencies. What that means as a practitioner is you can always choose frequencies that you know that the client needs. So feel free to include whatever frequencies you know that will benefit that particular person, and never be afraid to go ahead and add those in. All right, let's keep up with some of the chat. And will there be a library club class in January? So yes, we actually, Sophie, let me know if you get our newsletter. I put out a newsletter late last night that should have come in this morning, and it actually indicates that. And we put something out for the Library Discount Club on Friday. And this Friday, we're going to have one on the I Ching frequencies. That is this for this Library Discount Club. Okay, let's keep the energy flowing and go to body systems. And it tells us here skeletal. So what does it mean when skeletal comes up for someone when you're doing a scan? A lot of times it has to do with bone density. It could also be a previous injury that they had. But for women, if they're postmenopausal, it's often because they're losing bone density. Something really interesting about that you may want to watch for when you see heavy metal toxicity is that lead is stored in the bone. And as a woman goes into menopause, if she loses bone density, this could mobilize stored lead, which was decades earlier, more prevalent in our environment. And it could have been hidden there for years. So especially a menopausal, postmenopausal may want to consider glutathione, N-acetylcysteine, milk thistle, maybe be on a detox program 4 times a year. In case that is coming up, you might see it in heavy metal toxicity when you test that, something to be aware of. Then the digestive system down here. You always want to work on the digestive system during detox. We also will include the nervous system. Why do we include the nervous system during detox? Very interesting, because when you're stressed, your body doesn't detox. Detoxification is something that the body takes up as a luxury. When you're relaxed, when you're resting, okay? When you're in sympathetic mode, fight or flight, then you are having a higher heart rate. You're basically elevating your blood sugar, your blood pressure. You're creating more clotting substances in case you have to have a fight, you might get injured, right? And in case you need to run away. But when you're resting, meditating, relaxing, relaxed thoughts, then your body says, maybe we should produce some hormones. Maybe we should produce some digestive fluids. Maybe we should help the body to detox. So if you're stressed all the time, it's not going to help with with a healthy detox. Your emunctories will not open. They'll stay closed, and there might be an emergency, something like that. Therefore, make sure that you include the nervous system, because you want to work on that as part of preparing the body to be in a state where we can detox. Question here. Should we take into consideration the person's methylation profile during the detox process? That's an advanced concept even for naturopathic doctors. So you don't have to worry about it per se. You could add in the methylation frequencies, which would work on maybe their MTHFR or their COMT. So it is true that people who are poor methylators, that does affect their detoxification abilities. And also anybody who has single nucleotide polymorphisms, which are addressed in the methylation, COMT, they may be poor detoxifiers. But that's really an advanced concept that hopefully we'll take up in Natural Health Mastery 2 when we get to that later this year. So very good question, V. I like that question. So now we want to go to the rest of the systems. The integumentary system is about the skin. The skin cannot be emphasized enough with regard to detoxification. Do skin brushing every single day. What you're opening up is the ability for you to push toxins through your skin. Try to sweat a little bit every day. If you have access to an infrared sauna or conventional sauna, then it's a bonus, because you can push heavy metals, you can push toxins through the skin every single day, and it takes a burden off of your kidneys. So we also run the frequency in order to enhance that process. Circulatory is something we don't talk about enough, but I really want to emphasize. Circulatory, this is your whole, this is the heart, this is blood vessels, this is the capillaries, this is the venous system, the arterial system. It's the whole enchilada of circulation. I can't emphasize enough how important it is. And you may just want to do a circulatory, just run the circulatory system. For example, try waking up in the morning and just running the circulatory system. Let's enhance it a little bit. Let's take a little bit of a break here. Let's go to the solfeggio tones. Let's include 528. And then let's include in sacred geometry, let's include like the Fibonacci's or the golden ratio as part of aligning ourselves with nature, with perfection. And this is something you could do. Let's say you get up in the morning, you don't feel good, you feel sluggish, you don't feel yourself. Go ahead, the minute that you get up in the morning, just put these 3 items into the tray: circulatory, golden ratio, and 528 hertz. Why? Because it's going to help to enhance the total circulation, which is delivery of oxygen and nutrition, as well as taking metabolic waste out of the body. So just do that for a few minutes every day. So we include circulatory as part of the detox, process. And if we go back to the body systems, we can look at it, which is right here. So we see we've included digestive, we've included skeletal, we've included circulatory, we want to include integumentary, and we've also included the nervous system. So that's from body systems. Then we go to organs, where we go right to the organs. I've talked about the emunctories, the organs of detoxification, and we include the liver. We definitely include the lungs. 60% of toxins in the body can be eliminated through the lungs. Use or learn about yogic breathing, some type of yogic breathing that really helps you to empty out the lungs completely. You can read about this online, watch it on YouTube, do some type of breathing exercise every single day. Strengthen the lungs. For those who've had to wear masks, is very unfortunate. We've got CO2 issues and so forth. Even more reason to do breathing exercises and really exercise your lungs. And as you learn to do that deep exhalation, it will eliminate even more toxins from your system. So the heart and pancreas are not necessarily part of this, but we are going to include it. We just want to make sure we get kidney, liver, lungs. And really on this library, it should also include large intestine. This is something we may want to let the developer know. We also have gallbladder, so that I would add to that list of organs, I would include liver and gallbladder. The gallbladder is merely a pouch that concentrates bile that comes from the liver, but a lot of detoxified substances end up in the bile, and then it gets concentrated in the gallbladder. And if the gallbladder doesn't flow freely, the bile does not flow freely, it can cause gallstones and it can lead to a buildup of a lot of toxicity. Then we go to digestion. Anytime you want to make your body work better, get yourself to do a detox. Get the sugar out, get the meats out, get the dairy out, get the eggs out for 30 days, 21 days. You can do the 21-day detox that we have on the website. And you're going to feel so much better. It cleans up the digestive system. When your digestive system is working to digest your food, it is not working to do the cleanup processes of the body. When you fast and you only drink water, then immediately the body says, oh, I don't have anything to digest. I'm going to go right into housekeeping mode. I'm going to clean up this mess. If there's metabolic waste, if there's infections, if there's things I need to deal with, I have so much more energy. So digestion is a super, energetic need that the body does. There's so much energy needed for digestion. It doesn't have energy to do other things. So taking a break from digesting, or at least making the load lighter, really helps you to detox, and it revitalizes all of your organs and your entire system. So that's why we do detox. So we've got the liver is coming up. So liver is coming up here for her as a priority, whereas it didn't in a different library. That's because there were other items in there that the genius was tracking as being more important as a matter of prioritization. Then we've got the flora, the microbiome. The microbiome produces important substances that are healthful for us, even cancer preventive substances. So the more healthy your microbiome is, the more healthy your neurotransmitters, the more healthy your hormones, the more healthy your immune system, because 60% of your immune system is in your gut, in the Peyer's patches of the small intestine. So work on your flora by taking probiotics or prebiotics, or eating things like leeks, garlic, onions, or fermented foods, fermented krauts or fermented carrots or fermented beets. This is something I put into my diet all the time. I cannot get enough fermented foods into my diet because it enhances digestion. It even helps to produce enzymes like glucuronidase, which is very healthy, helps you produce superoxide. Dismutase helps you to properly produce your B vitamins. So important to work on the microbiome. So this is something you could also think about, taking prebiotics or probiotics and putting this also similarly into your quick zap. So this method of using something in your quick zap that you want to focus on could be utilized with lots of different things. So we've got 5-2-8, golden ratio, and flora. Run that for 15 minutes. Correcting your flora could change your entire life. Then we've got small intestine, and what we have here from the digestive system, we'd want to make sure we use large intestine, right? One of the organs of organs of elimination. We'd also want to use the gallbladder, small intestine, which came up for her already, and the stomach. And I'd say even enzymes. You could add enzymes to this. Enzymes are metabolic catalysts that really help to enhance everything in the body. Everything is run through enzymes. And when we get weaker with pancreatic enzyme output, that's going to draw or drain the other metabolic systems that are utilized, the enzymes that are used for other metabolic systems of the body. So you could do this in another way, working on the flora. You could do it for a minute. You could do it for 15 minutes. Remember, less is more with the genius. We want to work on the rectification percentage in the genius and really observe our rectification percentage. What happens if someone has had their large intestine removed? Well, maybe that won't be the first thing that you work on, Peggy, but also everybody still has the energetics of their different organs, the energetics, the meridians. You can still derive benefit from working on those organs. So all is not lost if you lost a particular organ. Let me just rearrange some things here. And so keep on working on those things, and they still do make a difference. So, I mean, by working on the large intestine energy, you're also working on the eliminative capacity of the body. Body still needs to eliminate, right? We just give you a different way of eliminating. Okay, working on skin brushing, pretty easy is to just get a natural bristle brush for detoxifying, and then just watch a YouTube video about skin brushing, how to do it. You go over the whole body very lightly. You don't need to super scrub the body because the lymphatics of the body exist right under the skin. So lymphatics are very close to the skin, and just a little bit of stimulation from a natural bristle brush will be enough, and you'll get a slight exfoliation. So let's see if we can, I'm going to bring this up in just a moment and talk about the hormonal program that we're doing. So let's just try to move this over just a little bit more. And we're going to keep going through our detox. Keep your questions coming. Sorry about that, to answer your questions. All right. So the next one is the meridians. So really any of the meridians could be utilized. We find the meridians under the biofield. Any of the meridians could be used to enhance detox. So these are just more ones that are associated with the organs of elimination. So you can utilize any of them, and we're going to continue to have more lessons about Chinese medicine, because Chinese medicine really helps you to understand the whole picture of the body and really understand the energetics, why things happen. The spleen is so important. The spleen meridian is so important because so many people sort of overthink things. They don't move around enough, and that causes spleen qi deficiency. So we're going to talk about these hormones in just a moment here. And so really you could utilize any of these, and we want to observe the ones coming up for her. Stomach meridian, we saw the stomach organ come up for her too. Liver meridian, we saw the liver come up. We've got not too many more, the governing meridian, which is the one that goes up the back of the body, very, very main meridian, so important to work on, whereas the conception vessel comes up through the front of the body. So you could also include, we've named over here the lung meridian, very important for detox, and also large intestine, even though we didn't, I would add that to the sheet. Lung and large intestine are paired. And then we also have the spleen meridian, really for everyone, for detox, for overall health. You could start every session with circulatory and then running the spleen meridian. The reason is that those are two very, very important movers and shakers for almost all people. Their circulatory system is not optimized, but also they have spleen qi deficiency. If you look over a population of Westerners, you're probably going to find 80 to 90% with spleen qi deficiency because of the foods that they eat. Too much sugar creates dampness in the body, spleen qi deficiency, and sitting for too long, spleen qi deficiency. Too much mental function, lots and lots of thinking, overthinking, without enough time in nature, spleen qi deficiency. So you could put that spleen meridian also, let's take out the flora. Let's put the spleen meridian up here. This is another one that you could run for 1 minute. So we talked about the flora, the spleen meridian, and circulatory system. These are things that you could run for just a minute, focusing on them because they're so important. Okay, so let's see if we can just catch any other questions. Okay, I don't see gymnema under the herbs. I see gynostemma. So go with gynostemma then. You're probably correct, Araya. Good correction. If you see brain in red for a small child, what does that suggest? Same thing. It could be just, it's an imbalance in the brain. It could be a learning issue. It could be a focus issue. It could be that the child is having too much sugar. Something about circulation, brain function is out of balance. If I don't have the frequency, if I don't have the capsules, do the frequencies still work? Absolutely, they still work. I have an Android phone. I don't see the HZ on the voice recording, such as you just did. Neither do I see the analysis of the voice 4 months. Ada, that's something, why don't you go ahead and get in touch with us so we can talk with you more about your phone and what's going on. Stephen says, can you explain the rectification? If there's 3 frequencies we're working with here, what would a 40% rectification percentage tell us? How do we know when the frequencies are rectified? This is a very, very good question. And so as we look here, we do see a 42% rectification. This is a bit of an idiosyncrasy from the developer himself. He feels that a very light tap to the energetic system can make a big difference. When we overstimulate, he feels like that could take us backwards in time. Therefore, a rectification percentage that is considered complete is 40% or more. At this juncture, there is no reason to continue to balance that combination of frequencies. It's all done for the person at 40%. Below 40%, you want to continue to balance those frequencies. Harmony, alignment, energy flow, they're all just different aspects of how much the person has taken in the encoded information and done something significant. It's caused some change to the consciousness at 40% level. I mean, it's always changing, but we're almost at a level of completion at 40%. Again, you normally think about 40% as being something like that's complete. You might think about 75, you might think about 100, but this is something from the developer himself that he wanted to sort of transmit, that 40% could be very, very significant. Let's try to get through just this portion here. Let's go to flower essences. I just wanted to point out that crab apple, which is interesting, it's coming up for her, is like the flower essence of detoxification. So that's why we would include it. Let's include the other ones. We're also going to include rock water, larch, elm. Okay, and then you can include herbs. So Araya may be right. I may have put gymnema, which is for blood sugar. It may not be on our herbs panel. It would be in the blood sugar libraries. So gynostemma is for hormones and detox. Milk thistle helps you to build up glutathione in the body. So it definitely would be part of that. And we've got cascara, which helps the large intestine to sort of detoxify. So we would include cascara sagrada, and also dandelion. Dandelion is a cholagogue. It helps to increase the production of bile from the liver and from the gallbladder. So it's very, very good to take that for detoxification, but also for preventing the buildup of gallstones. This would be really helpful if we could put this in alphabetical order. So some other things that came up for her here, let's take a look at them. Korean ginseng, good for the adrenals. Cayenne, good for circulation. Black cherry, good for the kidneys, which would also, we should probably include that as well in the herbs that would be desirable. 2 rhodiola for adrenals, calendula for skin, dong quai for hormones, Siberian ginseng for the adrenals. Let's leave that there. Let's go right into progressive insights and see what comes up at the very highest level of priority for her. And we've got the pancreas. This is something that you should note. And, you know, it kind of should be a detox as well, as though we don't always think about it as being an organ of elimination, but probably should be included for detox. The pancreas is extremely utilized, overactivated, because we eat mostly cooked food, we eat processed food, we might eat GMO food, and all of these foods put an additional burden on the pancreas to produce enzymes. And as a result, as we get to 40, mid 40s, 50s, and on, it's usually good to supplement with some type of digestive enzyme every time you consume food, because that enzymatic output from the pancreas is always a bit overstressed. We're kind of maxing it out early on in life. We also see the lung meridians, so deep breathing exercises, circulatory, nervous, milk thistle, lungs, liver meridian. Looks like she's ready for a detox. She's really prioritizing some of those detox frequencies that we've been talking about all day. So, all right, so we explained the rectification and trying to just get back into some of the questions as quickly as I can here. Okay, question there. So she went to 55% rectification. Let's look at the aura. Great rectification. I think remember to have your client drink water. I can't emphasize enough before the session and after the session how important and valuable that can be. So let's go ahead and begin our analysis afterwards. Question, if we use a picture and voice that was taken a week prior, can we still use that, scan the client, and get a new result on that day? It's not as desirable as a fresh picture. Utilize the system in the Quanta capsule integration in order to facilitate that. Now, what's interesting is it looks like we went from a better aura to a worse aura. It's not a bad thing, you guys. We only did a couple of minutes of balancing. This is a good thing. She's getting right in there and she's doing a detox. This is literally an aura picture of somebody with detox in process. So it's great. And we would continue to run more of those frequencies that were listed in the progressive insights. So I'm going to run some frequencies for you after the class is over. But I really appreciate, Louita, everything that you're doing and keeping in touch with us, letting us know how you're doing. You're doing great as you progress as a practitioner. You're doing wonderful. Okay. Can you move your picture to the top? I think that's something that you need to do on your screen. You might be able to move it around. Let's talk about the hormonal balancing project. You can still join this particular project that we have. We're going to provide some links in the weekly newsletter. You can join that and just do your salivary lab a little later. If you don't live in the States, you can get in touch with us. We can tell you which lab it is. You can do it on your own. We can only do US labs, unfortunately, because of different restrictions. But let's talk about the hormonal balancing project. So let's go ahead and move some things around here. This PDF is not cooperating. Let's go ahead and, oh, so weird. Can we move this bar around? Yeah, there we go. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about this. This is one of our folks who did the salivary lab, and we're going to be presenting these on Thursday. We're going to talk all about what estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, DHEA, cortisol, what difference they make in your health, what the optimal levels are, why they're important, and how you can take steps to correct them. We're going to have 3 hormonal balancing classes beginning on Thursday. You can still get in on this. Even if you have not done your lab, we can still send you a kit. You can do it, and we can talk about the results in any of the 3 classes, or even send you the results afterwards. So I think that this is so interesting. The reason that we did this is to look at the results from the Genius. So this was the profile that they ran. Let's see if we can get a spotlight. Arrow? Okay. This is the particular panel. We called it the comprehensive hormonal profile, and they ran this on day 1, and this is their numerical results. So their numerical results are interpreted right here under the interpretation. So a black cohosh, which is a phytoestrogen of 137, tells us there is an estrogen imbalance. And most likely as a naturopath, I would interpret that as being an estrogen deficiency for somebody who's going through menopause or is postmenopausal, which is this particular person who did the salivary profile and scanned themselves on the Genius on the first day. So then we look at borage oil at 223. It's sort of borderline, but it tells us that borage oil would probably be a beneficial frequency and perhaps a beneficial remedy for that particular person. So that tells us there's a progesterone imbalance. And in fact, the progesterone on the lab was low. Then we go to DHEA and we see DHEA 222, DHEA low at 110. So these are different ways of testing the energetics of DHEA with the Genius. Now, the Genius is not perfect. It's not a lab within itself. It's going on resonances, and it's comparing the resonance of those frequencies to the frequency of your voice and picture. And it's getting sort of a rough, quick and dirty to tell us something about those frequencies that they would be beneficial for you today. But if we take it a step further, both of these are hinting at DHEA being not very well balanced in the person. So we put here the genius interpretation, DHEA balance, imbalance, and here on the lab, we could see the DHEA was low. So same thing, DIM is diindolylmethane. It's like a super concentrated broccoli. And usually if the genius is saying, hey, this would be a good beneficial frequency for you, then probably the DIM, getting that super concentrated broccoli supplement, would be helpful for you. It helps to balance estrogen. And so it tells us that there's an imbalanced level of estrogen. And in fact, what the lab said is that estrogen was on the low side. So we can go down. What's another one that was interesting was testosterone was quite low on this particular lab when we read the saliva lab. And it tells us testosterone low, 674, which says that's an active frequency, right? And testosterone also coming up at 600. So these are signs of testosterone imbalance. And interesting about tribulus is it's an herbal precursor to testosterone and also very, very low, telling us it would be highly beneficial to take the tribulus. So this is fascinating. If you want to be part of the Thursday class, you can still sign up. Just send me a message, Ariel@geniusbiofeedback.com. We'll include the links in the newsletter coming out tomorrow morning. And you can sign up. If you're outside of the US, you can sign up not to have the lab. If you want to have the lab still, even though we're starting on Thursday, you can still get the lab kit and do it and have your results if you're in the US. And that's only because of the different restrictions for our lab outside of the US. So we're going to talk more about these, bring you more information as we analyze this and get more clear on everybody's lab, what the results were. And I can't figure out some of these little things on Zoom, but someday I will be able to. Okay, so we'll look at more of your questions and wind up the day here, hopefully talking about Loida's information and go from there. I can't turn that off, the annotations. It's so funny. Let me see if I can just switch it off. And go back to the mouse. Maybe that helps. There we go. Okay. So we can reduce this. We'll answer any of your questions that you have and just talk a little bit more about this detox process as we wind up the class. So if you have any questions as we're sort of moving to summarize the class, let me know. Oh, fun times trying to move this around. Okay. And thank you to everyone streaming on YouTube. Remember that you can watch this on YouTube after it's over as well. And we will get the link for the detoxification process into the YouTube description. So let's take any of your final questions and see what you've got here. When are we going to get our hormonal results back? Yelena, I've gotten your emails and I really appreciate you asking. We actually have been sending people their hormonal results. You're just sort of in the queue. It takes us a while because we're sending everyone their individual hormonal results who did the lab. Okay, I can't find the handout for 2 Monday classes in a row. What we try to do is put those in the YouTube description. So if they're not currently in the YouTube description, send us a message and let us know. You mentioned the playlist. So let's just briefly look at the playlist as we wind up things for today. And we'll see if we can answer any final questions. So yeah, you can listen, you can join the hormonal as just a participant. There's a special deal for that. It is a paid class, so there's a deal for people who just want to participate and for people who want to do the lab, or people who live out of the United States. So you can let us know about that. So for custom playlists, you have to go to the navigation bar and then look for the custom playlist function. Once you're in there, you can add a new custom playlist. So if we wanted to add this one for the detox process, we could do that. It's pretty easy. It's just a little cumbersome to find the individual thing that we want. So let's go to body, and then we would have to, let's just do one. If we go to today's stress, then we can find the ones that we want. So we would go ahead and we would check off the ones that we want. We want lymphatic. No, that's infection. So that's what I mean. It's a little cumbersome. So we want heavy metal toxicity. We want kidneys. We want liver. Also, if this would line up in alphabetical order, another thing that would be really helpful, acidity, adrenal. Okay. We want all of those. And then we tap save. That's the most important thing. So it has to be saved. And then I think we have to save it here as well. So save it twice, and then it should populate there as the detox process. And this is actually in alphabetical order here, which is great. And then we can go back to the person that we're working on. And what we would want to do is maybe empty the tray here. And then we would go down here and find the custom playlist. We'd find the detox process, and it actually adds all the items from the detox process to the tray. So everything is added into the tray from that custom playlist. So imagine if you had everything that was on the process that we handed out today, then you would be able to do it lickety split. Everything's in the main whole tray. You just go to Progressive Insights. You find the priority for them for the day. So that's how you do a custom playlist. We also have a video on my YouTube channel that goes through this, so you can watch that. And I think on the videos page at geniusbiofeedback.com, you can find this as well. If you go to the videos page under education, we have a whole bunch of educational videos on geniusbiofeedback.com. So thank you so much for being a part of our class today. Thank you for being part of our Genius community. If there's anything else I can do for you, go ahead to Ariel@geniusbiofeedback.com. Enjoy your detox process. Drink lots of water while you're doing this, and we'll see you back next week at the same time. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a wonderful day.